Hey there, it's Heather with Heather's Healing LLC, and I am here to talk about the energies of 2024. And I've got notes, so hopefully I won't be rambling and going on forever. But if you were in my spirit session in November, you've already heard this. If you have had a 2024 reading with me, you've already heard this, but I thought it might be helpful just to go ahead and record this for anyone else that hasn't participated in those events. So the energy of 2024, when I look at energy, I often will see it as colors. So I read the colors and then just feel into whatever comes up. So I don't know, I think it was around September, October when I was tapping into the energies of 2024, what I was seeing were the colors red and orange. So red and orange to me very much speak about creativity, passion, stability, roots, getting back to the basics, simplifying life. So if you break it down, so red, base chakra, root chakra, that's all about, there's a survival energy there for sure. But it's about stability. It's about work. It's about, just the basics that you need to live. Now, then you add in that orange color, so think sacral chakra, that's creativity, that's passion, that's going beyond just surviving. That is living life in a way that you're really enjoying it. It's bringing you a lot of satisfaction. It's bringing you a lot of joy. So I do think that 2024 is going to be a year where people get back to the basics. It's not so much about doing and going and just fast pace. It feels more slowing down, being way more intentional, being more intentional about the people that you hang around with, being more intentional with the relationships you're in, the work that you are doing. If you're feeling unfulfilled, this is going to be the year where it's really going to become uncomfortable. And you're going to want to probably change jobs, change relationships if it's not working for you. So if you're in a relationship where there's no satisfaction, there's no real joy or connection there, this will probably be the year where a lot of those issues will come to the front. Same with work. I feel like this is going to be a year where people are really going to be wanting to make a difference and connect in a different way. So really making a difference in society, in their communities, reaching out. I just think everything is going to be way more focused around fulfillment and deep satisfaction. It's also very much about being authentic. There's no way that you could be truly satisfied and fulfilled if you're not being authentic. So definitely a year of authenticity. It also really feels like anywhere where you are not being authentic, anywhere where you are not being true to who you really are, that's going to come up this year. Anywhere where you are being deceitful in your life, that will probably come up this year. So it's best just to kind of get out in front of a lot of stuff. If you've got a lot of shit that you've been hiding, a lot of things you're trying to run from, this is not going to be the year for that. So just do your best to be as authentic as you can, to come from a heartfelt space. And I really feel like if you go through this year truly connecting with who you are and what is important to you, you really can't go wrong. The other thing that comes up with this too, the color orange. The color orange is really great for absorbing trauma or shock. So that tells me that there is going to be, it's going to be a little rocky in some senses, only because everything that has been buried that you have been ignoring is going to come up for healing. So depending on where you are on your path right now, you know, if you've been working on yourself, if you've been really doing your best to be truly authentic, I feel like this year will be actually probably really enjoyable if you've been avoiding a lot of things, especially any type of addiction or habits that are holding you back. A lot of that kind of stuff is going to come up for healing this year. And I don't really feel like you're going to be able to ignore that. Looking at my notes, if you see me looking down, it also just kind of helps me if I like look to the corners or look up. That way it helps me stay on track. So red and orange are also, so that's fire energy, and fire energy is linked into Mars, which has a warlike quality to it, which obviously lots of wars going on just in general. But it helps you make liberating changes in your life. Sometimes it's really hard to make changes until you're at a place where you're so uncomfortable and you're so unhappy, like you don't care. You have to make a change. That's what I love about this red orange mix, and also that connection with Mars. It really helps to make those liberating changes. It's motion. It is not stagnant energy whatsoever. So yeah, it feels like a powerful year to face your fears, unresolved trauma. The other thing to think about here too is red and orange are life force energies. It's primal energies. It is really connecting with with everything that makes you you. Orange is very sociable. It's a happy energy. So I do feel like this is going to be a year where connecting with others is going to be really important, meaningful connections. This isn't going to be the kind of connection where, you know, you just sit and talk about the weather. If you can't connect with somebody deeply, it's probably not going to be very interesting this year. So that's very interesting. So now the other thing I wanted to break down is 2024. That is an 8-year. Now you can, if you do numerology, you know all about number 8. 8 is, it's abundance. It is infinity. It goes on and on and on. When I look at numbers, again, I always connect it to a color. So the number 8 connects in with the color purple. So pale violet to deep violet. Oh, my cat just came to join us. Sure. Sorry, distracted by a cat. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I had to let my cat out, so we're back. So 2024, that's an 8, and 8 links into the pale violet, the deep violet, which is really, really beautiful, and I love this. It also links into Saturn, and Saturn can be a bit of a bummer, but so that's father time, that's structure, that is stability, but violet links into your destiny. It's what you set up before you came here. It's progression, it's balance. It's more about acceptance of who you are. It's less self-judgment, which I really love. Violet is also about building new structures and new foundations. So anything that you have created in your life that may have a shaky or unstable foundation, it's not going to hold up. It's going to start to crumble, if not completely crumble this year. This is all about your spiritual destiny. It truly, truly is stepping into who you came here to be and who you really are at a soul level. The other thing that I really love about violet is it's fantastic for depression. So I feel like this is a year, if you've been struggling with depression, if you've been really struggling with even just trying to get momentum or an energetic oomph in your life, I feel like this year that's going to turn around for you. I also would say pay attention to repeating messages. I say this all the time. Pay attention to repeating messages, colors, sounds, things you hear, because I feel like a lot of you are going to get a lot of clarity and ideas on how to work with your depression, how to move through your depression in ways maybe that you hadn't considered before. So I do feel like it's going to be a really great year for healing. Now, just in general, as we know, the collective's kind of crap. I mean, there's just a lot going on. So I think what the key here this year is to really focus on what is important to you, focus on getting yourself in a really healthy, great way. And then I feel like the rest of the year will roll out a little smoother. Interesting. So this goes back into really being authentic. So depression, quite often, it's unspoken anger. It is you bearing your truth. It is you trying to be something that you're not. So it really helps. The violet color, working with violet really helps you to open up to your unspoken truths. It helps to lift you from the fog of doubt and being judged. That's the other really interesting thing. I think that a lot of people this year are going to be more open to trying new things and stepping out of their comfort zone, because it's almost like a feeling of, if not now, then when? Like, if this is something that I really want to do, if this is somewhere I really want to go, if not now, then when? There's definitely a feeling like that. The other thing that I love with violet is it really helps to connect you in with spirit without fear. So I do feel like a lot of people are going to be connecting with their guides, connecting with like I've been saying, with your authentic self. And I really love that. Especially if you've had a past life where you were, oh shit, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's like that being burned at the stake, sort of, like you feel like the world's out to get you sort of feeling. A lot of that's going to fall away. So if you've had if you've brought any of those energies into this life from a past life, it's going to be an easier year to move ahead. So that's really good to know. I'm just looking at my notes to see what else I wanted to say. Oh, check on your birth chart and see what area of life Saturn is in. See what house Saturn is in, because I feel like that's really going to be an area of life that's really activated this year. So pay attention to that. And violet also helps to release control and subconscious fear-based beliefs from past lives. So I think that's really lovely. I love the red and the orange color to bring in motivation, to bring in, you know, physical healing. I really love that, but they can be pretty aggressive energies. So having that violet energy in there too, it just softens it a little bit, which I think will be very helpful. The other thing I found interesting, and one of my favorite colors to work with is magenta. So if you mix violet and then you mix red together, then you have magenta, which is a very magical color, especially if you are working in the spirit realm, which we all really are, whether you want to believe that or not. But magenta brings the energy of heaven on earth. It's like the middle way. It's the middle road. It's a way of being in both worlds at the same time. And I think that's really kind of the whole theme of this year, is how can you stay connected to the earth, to the land, to what is true and important to you, and also stay connected with your soul's calling, stay connected with why you came here. So I really feel like it's definitely kind of, it is that middle ground, it's that middle way, it's walking that path. And so I do feel like it's going to be a really powerful year for that. Oh yeah, and magenta is like a bridge. It's the bridge between this physical world and then the spirit world. So I think there's going to be a lot of magic to this year if you're open to it. It is going to be, like I said, you can't hide from yourself anymore. So if you've been hiding from yourself, just don't do that anymore. It's not going to work. So in that sense, it could be a fairly rough year. But I always believe there's a silver lining to everything, even the things that are somewhat negative, or, you know, there's always a silver lining. There's always something to be grateful for. There's just always something positive. And if you know anything about me, well, we'll save that for another video. The other thing I wanted to bring up, the 2 crystals that Spirit was talking about that would be most helpful for the collective this year, is orange kyanite, which can be kind of hard to find, but if you can find it, it's fantastic. What I love about kyanite, any type of kyanite, it brings alignment. So orange kyanite is going to align you to your passion. It's going to align you to play, passion, creativity. And I feel like that's going to be a really great way to help work through a lot of the stickier energies, to help work through any type of sorrow, grief. It's just a really healing way to move through tough energies. So orange kyanite, work with that. It also helps to connect you to your inner child, to help release any inner child trauma. And it also welcomes co-creation with the divine, which this is what this entire year really is going to be about. And then danbarite, I meant to have a piece of danbarite to show you guys. And I do have a little teeny piece of orange kyanite, but I couldn't find it. Danbarite. I love danbarite. It's one of the Synergy 12 stones. It's incredibly powerful. If you are an energy healer, you probably work with danbarite because you can use it in psychic surgery. It's a really fabulous crystal to work with. It enhances your connection to the divine. And it's also healing through a spiritual practice, which I feel like is going to be really highlighted this year. It also helps to untangle threads in your ancestral line, which I think is really powerful. It seeks out the root cause of the pain so you can get to the bottom of whatever your situation is, whether that's physical, mental, or emotional. Danbarite's fantastic for that type of work. The other thing I really love, and if you know, well, I'm an energy healer and I work with color a lot and crystals. Danbarite connects you with the white, silver, and platinum rays, which are really powerful rays for clearing your auric field. They can clear your home. They can clear your crystals. They bring in a lot of deep healing. And when I talk about rays, I'm talking about, they are rays from like the angelic realm. They are heavenly rays. They're heavenly colors that have a sentience to them. So they bring in a lot of powerful healing. I work with color all the time in any type of, in readings like I'm doing here, and also with energy healing. Colors are incredibly powerful. And when you're calling in these rays, just ask your higher power, God, source, whatever you call that higher being, the angelic realm, just ask them to bring those colors in, to bring those rays in. Fantastic. White, silver, platinum. Orange is great to work with. I don't work with red very often. That can be, I only work with red. I only call in the red ray on occasion. So I would stay away from that one. But yeah, work with orange, work with any white, silver, platinum rays for clearing. They're fantastic. The purple ray, you can't go wrong with that. The other thing about the purple ray is it transmutes. It clears and transmutes low frequency, low energy. So for instance, if you were to call in rays to clear your home, I would call in the white ray. the purple ray for transmuting the energy. And then I would also call in the green ray to bring in just some really deep physical healing. That's kind of a little side note, but I'm sure that will be helpful to somebody. So let me just see if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. I think that that's kind of like the core of it. So yeah, so really just a year to connect with that deep part of you. Be very authentic. Come from a place of kindness and compassion as much as you can, but also from a place of authenticity. And again, anywhere where you are not being authentic, anywhere where you're sticking your head in the sand and hoping things get better, all of that's going to come up. That's not going to work anymore. So I think it's going to be, well, it's going to be an interesting year for sure. But I think it's going to be a really beautiful year. So far, a lot of the readings that I have been doing, it's amazing. I mean, people really truly are taking the leap this year and making big plans, moving, not just quitting jobs, but changing entire careers, relationships that people have been in for like 10 plus years. A lot of them are falling apart. And these aren't necessarily bad things. You know, if you're not in alignment, it's not going to work out. So we're just really being asked to find what is truly authentic to us, and then just really just putting a lot of focus on that. Really sharing that part of you with the world is going to be way more impactful than playing small and keeping your head in the sand and hoping everything will work out. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say. I'm sure I'll think of things after because that's the way it always goes. I will have my information below if you would like to connect with me for a reading or an energy session. My info will be below, and I also am starting up a Facebook subscription. So if you'd like to connect with me more one-on-one, that'll be a fun, I mean, that one won't be completely one-on-one, but it's a fun way to connect, and I'll be doing readings in there, live readings, and a bunch of other fun things. So anyway, that information will be below. Blessings on your new year. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.